Yeah, nicely behind that line. The long fence. 3 runs. Very unusual. These drives usually go for a 4 or a 6 very quickly.
Well, actually, 2 very good shots in succession with 2 deliveries just a fraction over pitch. So the left hand through extra cover, beautifully timed, and had the legs in it to reach the boundary. The right hander through the offside as well, just more of a push.
The square is pretty green. Normally you get a rough square here at Multan.
Just explain to us, Ramiz, and for English viewers who might be watching, why the change of venue. Originally it was supposed to be in Karachi, wasn't it, the first test match? Then Multan, or was it Multan, Karachi, Pindi, I think. Why the change?
I think the stadium is going through massive renovation. The stadium I think it has been demolished. Lahore is going through a massive change as well. I think the changes were needed. Just felt a little old and archaic, the structure. And
so that's all in time for the Champions Trophy?
For the Champions Trophy, yes. That's the big goal. I just hope that it's managed by the time Champions Trophy is played here in Pakistan. But Multan is not part of the Champions Trophy scheduling. I think it's going to be the 3 centres, Karachi, Pindi and Lahore. But we're having a test match here after a gap of 2 years. England were the last team to play there. Appeal down the leg side and he's gone. Squeeze down the leg side and soft dismissal, you've got to say. And Saim Ayub once again.
Well, I tell you what, there is no way you can call this a plan. These are normally deliveries that any batsman will say to himself, OK, it's just there nicely, maybe a little extra bounce because it's glove, not bat. But you just think you can tick it away for 1 down to long leg. That has in his favour, but Saim Ayub goes for 4 and the first wicket is down for 8.
At number 3 is Pakistan's captain Shan Masood. Saim Ayub strangled down the leg side. Maybe just too much focus on leaving the ball outside the off stump, and at times you don't worry about that middle leg stump line and the ball bounced just a little bit more, but unlucky way to get out nevertheless.
Well, Atkinson ball, it's always a possibility. It down the leg side. Don't keep your gloves out of the way. Asking for trouble. Shan Masood off the mark in attractive fashion down the ground.
Have a look at his head position. He was maybe looking to line up that off stump line once again and was not really looking at that line at all. His head was away towards extra cover. Wicket for England in that over, 10 for 1.
Yeah, I still think that for Sam Ayoub it was the little extra bounce that did it. Had it been, shall we say, 6 to 9 inches lower down on the bounce, then you get the bat on it, you might deflect it past the keeper down towards long leg. Still called long leg, isn't it? Yeah, some of these things seem to have changed. And yeah, and you get away with it. That extra bounce means suddenly you can't control it, the brush of the glove, and that's it. You've got the rest of the day to ponder it.
He usually plays from the crease, Abdullah Shafiq, and likes to play the ball as late as possible.
It's just a little bit outside the line of leg stump, so whilst you can say it's an unlucky dismissal when you get caught down the leg side, ideally there as an opener you've got to be keeping your gloves, hands out of the way.
A pretty decent timer of the ball, will pick up at least 2.
Why the batters out of form, Ramiz? I mean, it looks such a good lineup. Of their best form in recent times.
There's a bit of turbulence all around, uncertainty.
You don't say.
But the other thing from batting point of view is that most of these batters play from the crease. I think on these pitches you've got to be stretching forward and going back using the crease. Appeal turned down by the umpire. Remaining in the crease and just being a little circumspect, a little uncertain with their technique and form. And losing doesn't help. It just shatters your confidence. Abdullah Shafiq in the last 10 test innings have only got 150 odd runs with an average of 15 for an opener. That's not good enough.
Are they right to stick with these players though, or are there others in domestic cricket who are pushing hard to get in the team?
I mean, you can always make a case against out-of-form players, but you've got to be very, very precise with your selection. And if you feel that Abdullah Shafiq is still good enough compared to the rest of the cast, then he needs to be played.
One of the things for any top-class batsman is that ability to play the ball late. The danger of, shall we say, trying to move around the crease too much forward and back is you commit yourself sometimes on the front foot when you don't need to. And that extra foot or two where you watch the ball and judge the ball is actually what sometimes separates the good players, or the very good players get it right, from the good players. The ability to leave it late.
Pick up 2. More comfortable playing off the back foot than driving through the offside of late, Abdullah Shafiq. 5 done, 14 for 1.
Yeah, it's nicely balanced, isn't he? Just that little sort of change of weight onto the back foot rather than a big movement. And when you saw where he played the ball, which is right under the eyes. And that's pretty much the ideal place to be making contact if you can. You just watch the ball come to you, use the pace of the ball, keep the bat straight, of course, pick up a couple of runs.
Environment, if you're captain, and Shan Masood I'm talking about, if he's out of form, out of touch, what happens to the general health of the dressing room?
It's a bad place to be if you're a captain and you're A, losing games, and Shan Masood has lost his first 5 in charge, and B, you're not getting any runs yourself. That's about the worst combination that a captain can face. You're not getting runs and your team is winning, all well and good. Your team is losing and you're holding your own form up, then that's fine as well. But bad combination if you're losing and not getting many. So there's a bit of pressure on Shan Masood in this series, as there is on Ollie Pope, actually, who is standing in for Ben Stokes and who lost the last Test match that he captained, which was against Sri Lanka at the Oval, a game that